And I didn't put the audio on. Oh my God, my legs, man. They're dying.
I'm more now.
Oh,
Around with audio.
man, I'm done. Holy crap. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Whew, hold on. I gotta bring my heart rate down. Gotta bring my heart rate down. I only did squats for about 5 minutes. Kody was doing squats for about, I don't even know. I think it was 45 minutes. He was like nonstop in the green room. Ooh. Well,
stay ready. You don't know when a match might occur.
Old bad guy, you are correct. I may not survive this interview tonight. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out, dealing with all the technical difficulties, aka myself. But we have a very special guest tonight. He is the coach. He's the king of squats. He is one half of the Squatting Dragons with Aaron Wade. Welcome to the captain's quarters, everybody. Kody Manhorn. Welcome. Okay.
There we go. I hope everyone's doing at home.
I got it. Woo.
All right, we can go.
Woo. Oh, it's a squat off.
We're already going.
Oh. Okay. Woo. Woo. Okay. Woo. Man. Look at him go. Woo. Sir, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I apologize for having you in the green room for so long. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Yeah, that nincompoop shiny shoes. He gets hooked. I don't even know where this came from.
Damn. Okay, we got some energy. Everybody in the chat, get some questions going. We will ask them as we go. I will hopefully be able to survive this this interview tonight. But Kody, I want to know, since you are the squat king, do you think that there is any wrestler out there that could beat you in a squat off?
Bite me. I've gone toe to toe with the best when it comes to squatting. I've gone with the strong man, Arthur McCarther. I've gone with my own tag partner, Aaron Wade, and he came close. But I could see he was tired. We still had a match to go.
Now,
there ain't nobody out there who's going to out squat the coach Kody Manhorn.
Now, you mentioned the strong man, Arthur McCarther. You mentioned Aaron Wade. And if anybody has watched the Future show, I had the pleasure of announcing you guys coming to the ring in that tag match, in which you and Aaron almost destroyed me by running the ropes there. So I'm glad I got out of the way. So we already have questions in the chat. Christopher wants to know, what about that money that you owe Ref Shiny Shoes?
Oh, okay. Let's talk about this money. Okay, he never said it up front, so I don't know him squat.
Okay, squat. I see what you did there.
Always thinking on my toes.
Always. So what I want to know is, first off, how did you get interested in wrestling?
Well, I've been a wrestling coach for a very long time, and a lot of people that kept telling me the old line of, if you can't play, you coach. And I wanted to prove them wrong. And I started getting like around the wrestling shows and stuff. And I saw all these big guys. And my biggest thing is like, now, if you haven't heard, I stand in at it doesn't matter. And I weigh in at it's irrelevant. To me, I wanted something in wrestling where it wasn't so much about your size and being the big horse man. I wanted there to be something where, like, I remember a little coach, Kody Manhorn, when he only squatted in about 200 pounds. He wanted something to look up to. And that's what I wanted to be.
Nice. Now, do you have any wrestlers that you've coached out there wrestling right now? Like, who has been under the expert tutelage of yourself?
Oh, direct tutelage. We got some people in the works there down at the TWE Performance Combine, so you can see them up on the coming on the rise. But I have some long-time training partners. If you haven't watched TWE, you would have found out Dominic Guarini is a good long-time personal friend of mine. Kevin Koo is a very close personal friend. I work a lot with Brandon Williams. I mean, of course, Aaron Wade. I'm constantly coaching him up, trying to teach him the way. In our last match, he performed the squat challenge for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the hardest part of coaching these guys? And Dom and Kevin, their names. What's the hardest part of coaching some of these guys?
Honestly, sometimes it's the fact that they're names, okay? Because it comes back down to the fundamentals, okay? Like, they have these really good styles of striking and this very technical grappling stuff, and that's all fine and dandy, but that's teachable stuff. You can't teach them the fundamentals of the good four and the solid base structure that it takes to be a wrestler. Look at a person like Alex Kane, all right? You think you see this big, strong, beefy man, but that's not where the power to those suplexes comes from. It's coming from all in the hips and the core. All right. Yep. And it all boils down to you can suplex anybody if you have that and some strong legs going. So, getting them to think about those basic exercises, just doing some simple chest squats or base squats or ab squats.
Damn, that's a lot. What's the hardest squat to perform?
The hardest squat is actually the Mongolian split-legged pistol squat.
That is a mouthful right there, sir. That is a mouthful.
It feels like one when you're doing it too.
So now, before you got into coaching, you had to have some people that you watched on TV, maybe on the indies. Do you have anybody that was inspiration for you to get into not just coaching, but to get in the ring and wrestle?
So as far as like coaching and wrestling, a lot of my personal inspirations actually come from NCAA amateur style. So I had the honor and privilege to work with David Taylor. He is now a Olympic gold medalist. At this time, he was wrestling at Penn State under Cale Sanderson. Getting to kind of work around those guys, get around into an amateur wrestling background, it just became a natural part of it. And then, you start seeing these guys on TV, and it was always weird for me because there wasn't, like I said, anyone who was in my lane of wrestling. I wanted to see somebody smaller like the Rey Mysterio, but I wanted them to be doing the technical stuff. Mm-hmm. And everyone wanted to do the flippy doodahs, and I'm like, that ain't gonna win. All right, you can do all the backflips in the world, but if you land on your back, you're on your back and you get pinned.
Truth.
It's thinking ahead and trying to outthink. And I never really saw anything as far as like an inspiration. I more or less took bits and pieces and said, that could work there. That can work. And tried to mesh it all together.
Now, you mentioned amateur wrestling. You mentioned Alex Kane. He's got a little bit of a background in amateur wrestling. You know, then you have guys like Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, you know, the big names. You against Kurt Angle in a one-on-one amateur match. Who's coming out on top in that one?
Are we talking about prime or right now? Because right now, I'll drop him right back on his broken neck.
We'll talk you in your prime versus him in his prime.
Well, I don't think I ever left my prime, but that man in his prime was a whole different beast and won an Olympic gold medal on a broken freaking neck.
Truth.
So, yeah, Kurt Angle's got that all day. The coach has done a lot of things in wrestling. Multiple-time state champion, collegiate wrestler. Ever make it to the Olympic level, though. Trained some good guys, but.
Nice. Now, you've wrestled with TWE. That's where you train. That's where you train some of your guys as well. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about TWE a little bit. What's the atmosphere like training wise down there with TWE?
Intense. Because you got a lot of different guys who come in there with different viewpoints on wrestling, right? So you get a guy like me who comes in there and I want to do the grapples. I want to get into some chain sessions and I want to start working on these things. You get people in like Wade, he's a striker. That's really where our tendencies kind of align. Is why I can wear you down on the mat. He's the one who's putting you there. And that's kind of the dynamic we're able to work with. But then you get people like Pete Youngblood. And if you haven't seen Pete Youngblood, you're missing out, okay? Like, I talked about flippy stuff, but man, this guy walked in second day of training. He's like, all right, here's my spiral tap. Here's my 450. It's like, man, you don't even know how to fall properly yet.
You don't know how to fall, and you're doing flippy stuff off the top rope.
And he's landing it all. Like, he could just stand after it.
Jeez. So we have some questions in the chat. John Miller, he's got 2 questions. He wants to know, Coach, where are you from? I love your accent.
I'm from the heart and soul of Squattanooga.
I love it. John's follow-up question is, what can people in wheelchairs do in place of squats? He's asking for a friend.
Well, my favorite alternative to my, I don't know the proper word, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
Is you can do what's called a tricep squat, all right? Let me see if I can get this chair to do what I need it to do. All right, so you get up, and you're here. Up, and down, and squat! Yeah!
I like it. John, there you go. That's your homework, sir. Get some of those tricep squats in. Okay, so now TWE just had their 8-year strong show. You were on that show, and you were in a false count anywhere match. And when they say anywhere, they literally mean anywhere. So if anybody has watched this show on IWTV, you can get that, get the app, go watch it on your computer, whatever. There was a point in time where I believe you tried to pin Debonair Darling against the wall.
Yeah. Hey, they said false count anywhere, all right? And I took advantage of what those rules entailed, as well as the situation that had unfolded. You see, people think when I go into a match and I'm challenging you to a squat off, and I'm just trying to be all cute and gabby, oh, the coach is doing squats. But no, I'm actually getting in your head, all right? I'm trying to wear down your legs. I'm trying to take your mind away from the prize, get you distracted.
Smart.
And I did something similar in this match, you see, because I brought him over Sherry, if you don't know Miss Sherry, all right, she gets a little rambunctious during the shows.
She does.
And I finally gave her chance to shine when I locked him up in that chicken wing grip. And I let Sherry chop one good time. And then I let him chop one more good time. And at that point, I was in his head. Because, I mean, it's little old Miss Sherry. It ain't the worst punch. Not when you have to deal with a big, strong man like the coach Kody Manhorn. But I took his mind off, you see. Because then he went to chop her. I knew security was going to stand in the way. Security took the fall. And then I was already ready. And I picked him up, drove him into the wall. And I knew I could get a quick one right here.
Yeah, that's smart. I never thought of the pre-match or beginning of the match squat off as a way to get into your opponent's head. That is, it is genius. It is absolutely genius.
Level coaching right there.
Absolutely genius. So now that match, it didn't seem like it was just a falls count anywhere match. I mean, there was a ladder. You used some of we used the pole that was in the TWE arena there. It kind of was a little bit of a death match in a way. There was a little bit of blood too. This
was a fight. So if you don't know the whole story, TWE and Crux, we have a little bit of a beef. All right, ever since Kerry turned his back on Jaden, his chosen son, one may say, turned it all away and went and tried to make his own little new crew. Because if you ask me, well, Jaden started out shining him. But that's just my opinion. So he went off and found these new kids on the block. And they wanted to cause some beef. Then they started coming in and they called themselves The Office, which is really funny because that's Jaden's favorite TV show. Ho, ho, ho. So you come on in and they jump me. They cost me my opportunity to tag with my partner, put him in handicap matches. And that doesn't sit well with the coach, all right, because the coach has dealt with bullies his whole life. So the coach came in and said, you know what? If you want to do this, we're going to do it the right way. Because in case you didn't see, I also made him tap before futures. Mm-hmm. I made him tap right there. I quit. But I took my head off the prize. I ain't a sore loser, you see. I took my eye off the prize for a second and it cost me the match because he was under the rope. So we took that out. Well, by virtue of that rules, it's also no DQ. So we took advantage of what we had, both of us did. I had full intentions of driving my head into his with it pressed against that post. It ended up costing me as I started to see a little bit of my own blood. Now, I won't say death match. Chattanooga's a house that a Tank built. And I ain't trying to, step into that territory with that me.
That's a whole nother level. I mean, if you saw Tank at SCI during that match, that's a whole nother level. Yeah, it was a baby death match. We'll call it a baby death match. Not with actual babies, just baby as smaller.
Are being killed in the making of this match.
I love it. Now you can't. Of course, the coach came out on top in that match there. What's next on the horizon with TWE and the coach?
With the coach, I think right now the biggest thing is me and Wade. You see, and we've talked about this, me and him in private a lot, is there's these two belts that have been sitting in the back of the TWE locker room. And every day I walk in, I look at it and I say, those need a fighting champion. Because the last two times that titles came in, unforeseen circumstances happened, and it turned into Carson having to defend two belts against two guys by himself. Then those two guys, I guess, had some problems and they broke up. And Dylan made the move and just said, hey, I got to take this is enough. And we haven't seen him since. But the Squad and Dragons are in now. We proved to that Futures that we ain't just some fun little team. We can go with the best.
Definitely.
And I think that's the biggest thing is him and I trying to get ourselves out there and prove that we are deserving to be the TWE Tag Team Champions.
Nice. Now you talk about tag team champions. John Miller is asking about Action. Action coming up soon is having their finals for their inaugural Action Tag Team Championships. Now you've had a little bit of an entrance into Action with the Next Up shows. How was it being on those Next Up shows that, of course, you can go watch on IWTV?
The Next Up shows are a different little environment, right? Because I think if you really break it down, you got really, well, the TWE kids, and then you got the WWA4 kids. And while I think the WWA4 kids are very talented, I think if you watch them, though, there is almost you can tell who they're trained by. And this is not me trying to knock anybody there, right? They are phenomenal athletes. They are trained by one of the best in the world in AR Fox.
One of the best, definitely.
It's just that it's a different environment, and it's not one that I'm used to. Because while I said Pete can do all those things, Pete's really the only experience I get on a weekly basis to that flippy stuff, or that a little bit more faster paced lucha style of wrestling. Mm-hmm. Where, and honestly, it's kind of eye opening, right? Because it's any good coach would tell you, first thing you always want to do is watch film and scout. You need to see where your flaws are. You need to know where your opponent's strengths are. And that's kind of what I like to use the Next Up show is like, this is an opportunity to, one, see some of the fastest up and coming wrestlers on the face of the earth, trained by, like we said, the best, one of the best at least in the world, as well as be able to expose myself to a different style of wrestling so that way I can be a better competitor.
Is there someone on the A4 roster that you want to go after, that you want to take down?
I think I want some revenge with Ash. Mostly because I was put into in our first match at Next Up show, I was put in that precarious position where I had Rico in the dreaded squat block, and he was there about to tap. But I was also put into his ash execution. I don't know how he pronounces it, right? But he has me locked up, and I had to make the decision because I know things are coming on the line with TWE, where it was survive today to fight later. And I had to allow the referee to stop the match. And I think I want that one-on-one opportunity so that way I can prove that if you go one-on-one with the coach, and especially if you want to bring him into a submission environment, there's only a few people I can name off the top of them. And usually that list starts with a Daniel Makabe, a Damian Tangra, Brandon Williams, people along those lines. And Ash, you're a great wrestler, but you ain't going technical toe-to-toe with Coach Kody Manhorn.
Definitely not. And those are some big names. Are those names that are on your your bucket list, your dream match list? Those guys.
Oh, most definitely. I think if you actually put those three, Cabana Man Dan and Effie, you've rounded out my top 5.
Nice. That's a good top 5. Out of those 5, if you had a choice, you only got one. You could only wrestle one of those guys. Who would it be?
Probably Makabe. I feel like, especially if you take it into a situation of, with the way the world is right now, if you ask my opinion, he's the greatest wrestler in the world. The wrestling genius is not a gimmick. It is an actual truth fact. And I feel like if you can go toe to toe with Makabe in a chain wrestling environment, you're on the pathway to success.
Definitely. And he had some fantastic matches during WrestleMania, during Mania
Mhm.
week. He had fantastic matches at SCI weekend. The man is a legitimate monster. Now, I know one of the things, people always talk about the PWI 500. I know there were some people, Jaden was on there. We had
Mhm.
O'Shea Edwards was on there. He moved up. We had Brett Eisen was on there. We had these guys on there. Now, I didn't get a look at the whole list, but do we know, was Daniel Makabe on that list? Do you know?
I took a glance at it today. I'll be honest, especially knowing that because I like late night workouts. I like to get a good little sweat going before I take a shower, then hit the hay. So I had to push my workout a little bit earlier today. I haven't gotten a good look at it, but I did not see it at my first glance.
And then we left you in the green room for 45 minutes too. Got a double workout. If anybody's in the chat, if you've seen the list, the list, let me know. Let me know if Daniel Makabe is on that list. Now you mentioned the TWE guys and gals that are training there. You talked about Crux. We talked about A4. Do you think we'll see like a war game style between those three development promotions there?
I A4, I don't know. If you want my opinion, I feel like that's just kind of a natural development that has occurred. And the next up shows that those are the people that are the hungriest right now,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones that are showing up and doing the work there. As far as the Crux, the AWE, I honestly think it's inevitable. Eventually, it's going to blow up. Especially now, because if you ask my opinion, we came into their house last time and we showed them up.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually that Crux show will make its way on to IWTV too, but their production just ain't ours. But the TWE, well, like we talked about the Falls Count Anywhere, Debbie came into my house and he thought he had his match. This is the one you want. He wanted. Oh, I'm feeding into his style.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made him pass out on the stage. I brought it to him and I stuck around and I never died. And I said, goodbye. You can get out of our house now. So I feel like the tension's on the ball's in their court. And the tension's got to be there. And I feel like it's inevitability that eventually it's going to blow over. Now, if it's going to be a war games aspect match, I don't know. Most because that starts talking about some money.
Yeah, true.
But I think you eventually will see a match that is just built as Crux versus TWE.
Who's the next person on your list to cross off from Crux?
Huh. As much as I'd love to shut Brian Maxwell up at the end of the day, if you ask me, Brian Maxwell's just a mount. It won't do squat in the ring. So I've made it clear. And when you watch this most recent episode on IWTV, and we talked a little bit about it afterwards, I'll throw it up right now. Kerry, I'm coming. I want the big dog right now.
In a matter of 10 minutes, the coach has called out Kerry and has said he wants a match with Daniel Makabe. Didn't quite call him out, but that was his number one match that he wanted. So I love it. I absolutely love it.
All right, the coach ain't afraid of nobody.
I love it. So now, speaking of not afraid of anybody, what are some promotions that you want to go wrestle with? Where does the coach want to branch out to?
As far as promotions, number one on my list right now of things I believe are feasible with where I am at in my relatively short wrestling career is probably Paradigm Pro, especially with the UWFI. Like I said, I love technical grappling. I think I very well proved that in the Falls Count Anywhere, I ain't afraid to strike either. All right, I feel like that is a style of match where I could show my strengths very well in. Whoever just said H2O in the chat, no. I've heard about that venue, and I've worked in some very hot rooms. I've coached some very hot rooms, and I'll pass. Let alone for H2O wrestling, which, again, coach only gets bloody when it's time to fight.
H2O up here in New Jersey in the Northeast. So we got Paradigm.
Let's see. Some other ones. I'd like to make a proper action debut. I'm actually on the main card show. That would be a very cool thing, especially with, how close I am with Matt Griffin and Aaron Wade. I think it's an eventual thing that will happen. It's just finding the right time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where else are we at? I've actually already made the SUP debut, so I almost wanted to list them, but that has happened.
And they're coming back soon, too.
Yes, they are. Hopefully we'll be there. Getting some squats in. But I think the other big one will probably be New Texas out in the Texas area. I very much enjoyed the state. Bucky's for life. It's the only thing that me and that dang ref that everyone thinks I am, but I ain't. Agree on is that Bucky's probably has the best brisket in the entire world.
So we don't have anything like that up here in Pennsylvania.
Well, you're missing out on life.
That is what I hear. We got Sheets and Rudders, and there's some Wawas as you go closer to Philadelphia, but yeah, we don't have any of that good stuff.
All right, well, now I'm going to be asking the questions to you because we have talked about this, me and a certain Travis Huckabee. All right, are you team Sheets or you team Wawa?
Man, if I had to answer that question, I go with Team Sheets.
All right, you can stay on your stream.
I gotta go with Team Sheets. I'm around Sheets more often than I'm around a Wawa, and I'm not knocking Wawa. I know. I think Casey Catal, we had her on the show a long time ago. She loves Wawa. No hate, but I gotta go with my Sheets. But now if you're throwing it at me and you're asking me Sheets or Rudders, now a lot of people aren't going to know what Rudders is because it's a very homegrown thing here in Central PA. I gotta go with my hometown Rudders.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
See, you gotta come up to Pennsylvania, my friend. You gotta come up.
Now this has been talked about. A certain person said a certain show. We are in talks of a certain Pennsylvania area, that your area promotion, with a New South show that is planning to come up to the Philadelphia area. So who knows what will happen next?
Ooh, we might have to chat about that off stream there. Get the inside stuff. Okay, what's going on? Old bad guy says, "What about Leapfrog?" What about Leapfrog?
Leapfrog is definitely a show that I eventually would like to do. I kind of feel bad because I don't know if my buddy Aaron Wade's going to be making it up there. I was watching Abby Jane's 21st birthday, and then, all of a sudden I'm just sitting there enjoying the day, and I hear the best around start playing. I said, no way, my boy made it. And then some, I won't say knockoff because it was very good, but it was definitely not a real Aaron Wade. Came out. He had a good little match, but it was, however, I guess they already got one Kung Fu guy. I don't know if they need a second.
That would be interesting if both wrestlers came out at separate times, however, used the same entrance music.
So does it restart or does it keep playing?
Right. Yeah. Right. Chat. Does it restart or does it just keep playing? Let us know. Old bad guy says there can be only one. So now, talk about Aaron Wade for a minute. Now, the last action show, he started the trials of Aaron Wade. What do you know about that?
There's actually an idea that me and Matt Griffin kind of put together and got some Dylan Hale's input too on. Is Wade has been sitting here at really right about here. He's kind of become comfortable there. And it was time to put him in to elements outside of what he's comfortable in and push him to get to that next level. Because like I said, him and I are aiming for tag team gold. And we can't just sit there and be where we're at. That's why I needed to have a match outside of my comfort zone in the Falls Count Anywhere. He needed to have a match with one of the, like I said, one of my good longtime friends, Kevin Koo. In fact, he might be my favorite wrestler. I'm not sure yet. It's either him or Dom. But
two good choices.
Two very good choices, two very good guys. And Wade didn't come out victorious, but he didn't need to, the battle was not with Wade's opponent. It was with Wade himself, for being able to believe that he can't hang with that level of competition. So that way, maybe if when we win those tag team titles, we can say, when Dominic Garrini comes back, that we want Violence Forever as a tag title defense. There you go. Another one. I'm just going to call them all out.
Bam. Three call outs. If Christopher was here tonight, he'd be tweeting out all of those things to all of those guys. And I'm sure we'd get answers back. I'm sure.
Anytime any place the coach is not afraid of anybody, I will go squat for squat with any man on the face of the earth. And then I will go hold for hold, strike for strike.
Nice. Okay, so we have some confirmation of some things. Daniel Makabe is not on the PWI 500 list. I know what their requirements are, and it's unfortunate that he is in Canada for most of all this stuff that's been going on. It is a travesty that he is not on it, but they have their thoughts, and everybody else has their own. Let's see. John Miller asks, has Wade made you a Cobra Kai fan?
All right, so I'm starting to grasp the concept of why he's so excited about it. But every time we sit down and he's like, hey, man, let's watch this, it's like, we could be in the gym doing it.
Why watch it when you could be doing it?
Exactly. Put into practice.
And that's the coach mentality right there. Right there is the coach, and that's why you are the best. That's why you are the best. Okay, so let's see. What else did I miss in the chat here? I don't think anything. I think we're good. Are we going to see you come out and be a manager, be the coach with Aaron at some point?
I think that's always a possibility. If you've watched the recent New South anniversary show, we did introduce there is a technical third member. When Carson Dilbeck comes involved, we become, they make the team of trust the process. Together we are squat the process. We actually did do some stuff at Resolute, their last show, or one of their last shows. I think they might have had another one since. But where I did come out and manage them into a match, and we got utterly screwed. Just saying.
It's okay. Lay it out there.
I ain't even sure that Wade was legal in this, okay? I think they pinned the wrong man. It is under debate. I am throwing the challenge flag.
If I had a flag, I'd throw it. I'm just throwing air right now. Now,
I already threw the clothes hanger. So
there you go. Through the clothes hanger. Now, Carson, correct me if I'm wrong, he did injure his knee, right?
That was he tweaked his knee a little at the anniversary show.
Okay.
His healed well though.
Good.
He is back in training.
Good. Good. That is good to hear. So hopefully we will see Squat the Process out there more.
For sure. There are some places that we have been talking with, trying to get our name out there more. Actually, full update on the Carson injury. He did actually wrestle at the 8 Year Strong show. It was just the pre-show battle royal.
Okay. Yes, I do. I do remember seeing that, and I believe Action CEO Matt Griffin was also in it.
Yes, I actually was going to originally come out, and then I saw him, and I said, "This is ridiculous," and I left.
Now,
And I went back to training.
now I when I saw that it was up, and I think you can get that on the TWE YouTube page. I know that they put it up there because I know that's where I watched it. I tweeted out, I said, I would go nuts if I saw Matt Griffin pull off a crane kick. He did not, but that's okay. That's okay. Uh-oh.
We're going to work on that.
There you go. Coach, get him in there and get him working on that crane kick. I want to see that at some point. Now, let's talk about you. Going back to you again. What do you have coming up? Where are you going to be wrestling?
So TWE is not running this weekend due to up increases in COVID cases in the Hamilton County area. We will be back in action in 2 weeks, as well as myself, Wade, and some other TWE crew. We will be making a drive up to Missouri. I am unsure right off the top of my head on the date, but it's like around the middle of October.
Okay.
Those are probably the two biggest things, as well as, of course, the next up tapings for action will be on the horizon.
Nice. I think the next action show is September 24th. I believe.
Man, I make China Shoes handle the calendar. He's gonna drive me there anyway.
That true, but you got to make sure that you pay him.
When he tells me how much he wants to be paid.
So shiny.
Who knows? Maybe I will say some breaking news right now. The coach has officially put in an order to have physical on-hand shirts. So maybe if we sell a few of those, we can throw him a couple bucks.
Nice. Now, I believe you have a PWT's site.
Yes,
why don't we plug that in there?
Yes. So Pro Wrestling Tees / Kody Manhorn. That's spelled with a K. That will bring you straight to the website. There are currently 3 shirts available. You have the blue squat and varsity font across the chest. The black coat, the black shirt with the KM logo will be available. Is the one we're actually printing, so that will become available. You can get the Gildan cotton shirt there a little bit cheaper. The ones that are being printed are the super soft ones because the coach likes his soft. Got to be comfortable,
of course.
And then you also have the pride shirts as well that are available.
Nice. So everybody, so that Kody can pay back Shiny Shoes. Go on, let's buy some shirts. If you're going to be at action, if wherever Kody's going to be, let's support. Let's buy a shirt. That way, Shiny Shoes can shut up and he can get his money. Right.
Finally,
right.
Make him be quiet, okay?
Right?
I'm trying to concentrate with my squats.
So we talked about what you got coming up. We talked about where you want to go. We're going to step out of the ring for a second. We're going to step out of the coaching mindset. We're going to step out of the squatting mindset. I want to know what just regular everyday Kody likes to do. Like, what do you do for fun, man? What do you do as a hobby? All that kind of good stuff.
Hobbies. I mean, it really is just go to the gym, start studying the tape, and getting back in the ring as much as I can. I guess if you said a hobby, I do enjoy board games. Board games are my chill time. I do enjoy watching movies. I am an active Disney Plus watcher.
Nice.
Other than that, it's really just playing with my dog. He ain't here right now, but I want to make sure that it was a little bit more quiet.
Understand. So what's the board game of choice for the coach.
All right, so it used to be Monopoly, okay? Then I started playing with Matt Griffin, and that man is a beast at Monopoly. And yeah, so I'm good. I like to play the game of life. The game of life is a good one. Clue. There are some more adventurous ones that when me and Shiny Shoes were on better terms, he got me into. This one called Haunted House on the Hill or something like that. I just recognize the box.
Interesting. Never heard of that one.
But it's a fun little game. It has some like storytelling role like effects. You're climbing around in this house. You got to find objects, and eventually the haunt starts, and then someone becomes the bad guy.
Gotcha.
I think those are really like the games I like, is where someone like you're on a team, and then all of a sudden traitor type games. There's the word for it. Twister. Someone said Twister in the chat. That's a good one. Good one. I don't know if it's a board game though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the spinners on a board. I mean, does that count?
Technicalities.
You know, hey, apples and oranges, oranges and apples, apples and apples. Who knows?
All good source of vitamins.
Coach, exactly. So you mentioned movies. You mentioned Disney Plus. What's your go-to on Disney Plus?
Moana. Rock Johnson. Okay, you can't go wrong.
I would have never guessed that.
You gotta let it go.
I would have never guessed that.
Always.
Okay. Moana it is. So now I got a question for you. I want to know if you would be willing, and this is something that we've been doing on the episodes of the Captain's Quarters. Christopher doesn't like it too much. I love it. But Coach Kody Manhorn, would you like to be a guest on the Wrestlers Feud?
The Wrestlers Feud.
Like Family Feud, but since you're a wrestler, it's the Wrestlers Feud.
I thought you got it. You know what? Sure, let's do it.
Okay. We got no fancy graphics. We got no fancy intro. Everybody knows how you play the Family Feud. We ask a question, and you got to come up with the top answers here, Coach.
All right.
We have the top. Now I got to count. We got the top 8 answers that are on the board behind me. If I had a board behind me, top 8 answers.
Yeah.
Here's the question, sir. Name something snowmen might have nightmares about. You got 3 chances.
Okay. First guess, the squats.
Do we have squats? Sir, 1X. Okay. Again, question. Name something snowmen might have nightmares about. We already said squats, and that was not on the board.
I was about to say it again. Okay.
Second chance. What do you got?
I'm going to say the scariest thing to me, okay?
Okay. Sugar.
Yeah, it's really unhealthy. Everyone should have nightmares about sugar.
Let's see sugar. And
what is this?
It is not on the board, Kody. I did not come up with the questions. I just find them. But this is bullcrap.
America, what are you saying?
Exactly. These 100 people, what are they doing? Okay. You got one shot left. Once again, the question. Name something snowmen might have nightmares about. Old bad guy says Brett Eisen. Scariest to snowmen. Brett Eisen is not on the list. Old bad guy.
All right, cool. I was about to say that, but you told me that.
I
got to get this one right. I got to at least get on the.
Oh, jeez. Are you okay,
All right.
Coach? Are you okay?
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
I got something. All right. Hey, time out.
Oh, timeout. Taking a timeout. Okay. It's getting heated in here, guys. I'm not sure where the coach went. He might have went to do some squats to gear up. He's got one shot left to get one of the 8 answers. John Miller. We'll get to what's on there. Okay, we're back.
All right. I got it.
Okay.
There is one thing everybody in this world should be afraid of. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Chat, you ready? Chat's ready.
Second place. I got it. That was a genius. Good answer. Good answer.
Second place. So not first place, but second place.
Everyone's afraid of second place, all right? Because you don't win the silver, you only lose the gold. That's how the song goes, Captain.
Okay. We're going to check the board one last time. Survey says...
What? What do you mean? How's that not challenge flag? Was there actually 100 people surveyed?
There were 100 people surveyed. I swear.
Go back to school. This is Bo Squad.
I swear. So John Miller had one of the answers correct in the chat. So again, name something snowmen might have nightmares about. John Miller said, where is it? The sun, summer. That was the number 1 answer. Sun, beach weather. Whoa, hey.
Yes.
Yeah, it works. Vic, fireball schnapps. You're close. You're close. Number 2, fire flamethrower. We also had blow dryers, rain, a snowplow or a shovel, a drought, snowballs, and peeing dogs.
All right, Hope. That's a good answer, and I never would have thought of that a day in my life.
Peeing dogs.
But I want to talk about this snowballs for a second, okay? If I am made of snow and you throw snow at me, I'm just getting bigger. This is like looking at a guy who's pumping iron in the gym and being like, oh man, this guy's big. He can beat me. I should give him a protein shake. What now, boy, what's that going to do?
I do not know these 100 people. The only thing I can think of when they say snowballs is that they're actually going to go up to the snowman and take snow off of him to create these snowballs.
Goes back to my point. If you try to walk up to the snowman to make him into a snowball, he's just going to punch you in the fountain.
Exactly. Frosty's going to knock you out. Frosty's going to knock you out.
I don't think he's ever lost a boxing match if you think about it.
I think that's true. Somebody in the chat, can we check on that? Has Frosty ever lost a boxing match? We need to know. Kody, Coach, thank you for playing the Wrestlers Feud. We appreciate it. It's a fun time. I know Chris doesn't like it. Maybe he'll like it a little bit more from now on. But the one thing is, I can't believe that salt or that sugar wasn't on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so you go in and you got your food pyramid. At the very top of it's a sugar because you're only supposed to get a little bit, all right? And it ain't bad to play around with your demons a little bit, right? We all enjoy the little sweet snacks occasionally from time to time. But I get scared because you start eating a little bit and then you just want to keep going. You just want to keep eating the sugar. It's addictive. Did you know they put it in McDonald's fries?
Apparently like 18 different ingredients. And how is that?
One of them is sugar, all right? Because what they get you on is that's an addictive substance. But they hide it underneath all the salt. That's why the McDonald's fries are all salty. You can check that.
True. And how do you have French fries with like 18 different ingredients in it? Isn't it just potatoes, salt, and oil?
That's all it needs to be.
Right?
Now, I've had some good fries at certain places that put a little bit more on seasoning, but you don't taste that in a McDonald's fry. Shouldn't be eating McDonald's anyway. You're gonna have a heart attack. You ever seen Super Size Me?
That I have seen that. I've seen so coach, if you're going out and you're on the road, you're looking for some place to stop. What's your go-to place on the road to get fries?
Oh, get fries. Ooh, get fries.
Yep. We're gonna limit this question just to fries.
If you, I thought you were about to ask me where my go-to stop was. It's gonna be Steak and Shake. Give me that 7x7. Get my proteins in. Gosh, fries. I mean, anywhere I go, it's gonna be a small. Probably a Wendy's or an Arby's. Well, Shoes will never take me there. He hates those places. But Wendy's or Arby's.
Curly
Especially
fries.
Curly fries, baby. Oh, baby. Yeah, it's Arby's.
Hell yeah. I'm with you on that one. Okay, so we got confirmation. Frosty knocked out all of his opponents cold. Knocked them out cold. John Miller's got another question. Who's your favorite Marvel superhero?
Oh, I'm a DC guy.
Okay.
I'm a DC guy. I always liked the Flash. I felt like he had one of the, like, it's gonna sound bad, but one of the most underrated superpowers. You just, and again, he goes into like little underdog. It's like, the Flash could mess you up, right? You're like, if you try to punch him and it hurt, he can just run fast enough to turn the clock back to when he didn't get punched.
Truth.
You can't beat him. But Batman may have an idea of how he can kill everyone. But I was watching The Flash the other day, all right? And this man literally got frozen into a rock and just said, oh, he must move faster. I think he could do that with his heart if he died.
True. Now is
I'm dead. I'm good.
Now is Batman, is he really a superhero? Like, do we really take Batman as a superhero?
I think this all go like, I don't think you can call him a superhero if you actually break down the definition, okay?
I agree.
Because super, what power? Oh, he has money. Okay, that's the power. My bad. I thought we were trying to get away from the real world for a little while. And then you get into the hero part. Man, he just comes up and says, oh, you look like you're committing a crime. Let me beat you up real quick. Oh, no, feel bad for me. My parents died. All right, not all of us grew up with parents. You don't see me going beating up every little guy who looks like a clown.
Clowns are there for our enjoyment.
Like, and that's the thing, is like he takes the power almost away from the police officer. That's what they're there for.
Right? John Miller says he's an anti-hero.
I wouldn't put him that far. I think, because if you go into the anti-hero definitions, I feel like Batman has still a good cause. Anti-hero usually just, like, Batman is his purpose to being this is for justice. I think if, like, Shoes was explaining like the D&D lineman things to me, I think he'd be that chaotic. I think good, is that the word?
I think I possibly.
I don't know. That's his thing.
That's his thing. We don't worry about him. He's over. He's doing something else now. We don't even know. Okay, well, Coach, we're coming up to midnight here on the East Coast. Been a long night for everybody. You were doing, I think you said you did like a 1,500 squats in that 45 minutes that you were waiting in the green room because Shiny went over.
Yeah, warm up.
Exactly. I think I did about 20 and I was about done. So I'm glad that we weren't doing any more squats there. Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out tonight. If you got any more questions, throw them in here. We're coming up to the end just about in a little bit. We got a couple more questions that we got to get some answers.
Okay.
Couple more. But I want to know, we talked about your top 5 wrestlers. Talked about who your number one, what your oh man, what's the word? What your bucket list dream match would be. Who out there right now do you think is an underrated wrestler?
I think he's on the rise, but most definitely well, okay, I feel like I almost have to say Daniel Mugabe right now because he's not even top 500.
Right.
But that's a different story. But out there right now, underrated stars that need, and I think he's on his rise, is Merrick Donovan.
Sir Merrick Donovan.
Sir Merrick Donovan is a very good athlete. He has a very good personality about him. And I think if you look at it, he's playing the same mind game I am. I see right through it, Merrick. You put on that proper show. And I'm not saying that ain't him really, okay? But he leans into it a little bit just to throw you off your game enough that he can clock you right in the mouth.
Could we see a coach versus the Sir?
I already told you once, I ain't afraid of nobody.
There you go. We're throwing out a fourth challenge. Fourth one is out there. Sir Merrick Donovan, you heard it.
I think another like close runner-up. Well, I think I would have made him number one, but he actually got ranked in the PWI. Was Robert Martyr. So I don't know how much you can say underrated. Shout out for the Action, Showcase champion. You didn't actually win it because you didn't beat me. Just saying, you came into the building, the Kody Manhorn squatted. Just saying, Futures 2022.
There you go. SCI 2022. The coach. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see it. John Miller says, you are my favorite coach. An old bad guy says, coach versus martyr, ! Means he loves it. It means he loves it.
Great idea. Again, ain't afraid of nobody.
Okay, so we got 2 important questions left. The first important question, Coach Kody Manhorn, is we're talking cookies.
Okay.
We asked this. We asked this on.
Okay.
I know. We're talking sugar. We're talking sugar. We're talking about the top of that pyramid. Talking about the top of the food pyramid there. So cookies. We're talking about Oreo cookies. Are you
good chocolate? Chocolate's good.
On Team Single Stuff, the original Oreo cookie, or Team Double Stuff? Where does your allegiance lie?
I do try to stray away from the sugars in general.
Of course.
But the coach does have a little sweet tooth when it comes to chocolate, all right? Okay. I'm talking dark chocolate, milk chocolate, almond chocolate, don't matter. But if you ask me if I'm single stuff or double stuff, all right? Oreos are good. You dip them in a little bit of milk, that chocolate starts to get in there, and you can swirl it around. Yeah, you can gets nice and soggy, filled up. And then that cream, it's good. You can lick it right off the cookie after if there's But at the end of the day, you got to think about conservation. You can't be filling your body with all that junk. It's Team Single Stuff.
Coach, that went about as good as your Wrestlers Feud episode. Vic Sage, ban him. If Christopher was here, he would say ban you. Unfortunately, single stuff is the wrong answer. Double stuff is the only answer.
What? What are you talking about?
Only answer. Only. I know. Hey, to each his own.
Challenge flag. All of you owe me squats. Eating double stuff. Now you owe me double the squats. Let's go. Everyone, go.
Here we go. Oh, yeah.
We're going.
Come on. We're doing it. Here we going.
We're going all the way. We're going all the way.
Okay, while we're doing squats, we're going to ask the last question. So here's the last question. Coach, if my mic doesn't fall over because I'm doing squats, if you were on a pirate ship, good Lord, if you were on a pirate ship Which captain would you want? Would you want Captain Jack Sparrow? Would you want One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies? Or would you want Captain Hook? Who's your captain?
All right, that was a little tough one. Because I was going to say Disney Plus fan right here. Captain Jack Sparrow is always the answer. But I got to go with the OG classic. Well, no, he always lost. Captain Sparrow. It's Captain Sparrow.
Captain Sparrow it is. Woo! Oh, man. We're breaking shit. The place is falling down. The captain's going to die. Coach, help me. Help me, coach.
Take a salt tablet, drink some water. You'll be fine. Walk it off.
Oh, man. Kody, before we get out of here, give everybody your socials. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Social medias. We already talked about the pro wrestling tees / Kody Manhorn. If you want to follow me on the social medias, though, you can always follow me on Twitter at Kody Manhorn. Again, that is spelled with a K. And then you can also get me on Instagram again at Kody Manhorn.
Sweet. Well, we're just at midnight. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Coach, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm winded here. Whew, man. Coach is just like, whatever.
I'm starting to break sweat. I've been doing enough squats all day.
I could do 1,000 more if I needed to. Everybody, thanks for hanging out tonight. Make sure you go support independent wrestling, support Kody, support TWE, Action, New Texas, New South, Paradigm, all those places. Go out, spend some money, have a good time watching wrestling. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Kody, hang out for a second while we do the end of the stream here. Yeah. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for hanging out. Visit IWTV.live today to watch these great Action wrestling events, plus numerous other archive shows from Action and other great independent promotions. Use code ACTION for a free 5-day trial. Don't miss out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Bald Monkeys. Watch us live on our new Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TheBaldMonkeys.